Hey guys, it's me, Artemis, favorite destroyer. I meant to do something like this a few days ago. Aside from being really busy, I also couldn't really find the right words. So I figured I'd put something special together today, and actually get some stuff done with this. Um, as you guys know, recently we lost Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball, Dragon Quest, Dr. Slump, Sandland. A true legend in the field of anime, in the world of anime. Um, a lot of people out there have been posting things about how Dragon Ball or whatever affected their lives, and honestly, I want to do the same. I mean, it's pretty obvious to see that obviously I was affected by his work. Otherwise, I literally wouldn't be who you guys know me to be. Set them up. But when I first started watching Dragon Ball was just around the same time everyone else in the US did. For me, Dragon Ball came into my life around the time where things were not going so hot for me. I was just a small arty going through being in the middle of a very nasty divorce and a very nasty child custody case, and with what little social life and what little stuff I did for fun back then because of how everything was, I didn't have a ton of escapes. I didn't have a ton of things to distract me from the chaos of the world around me at that point. So I eventually came across Dragon Ball back on Toonami. I thought it was so cool. I loved the character designs. I loved just about everything I saw. The action was fun. The lessons that I was learning were absolutely amazing. But it was all temporary. The lessons I learned from Dragon Ball, that anyone can get stronger and overcome the enemies and obstacles in front of them. If they just, if they just trained hard enough and they just worked hard enough, you could overcome anything and beat any odds. I definitely took that one to heart as a kid. Another lesson being that you can rely on your friends to help you get through a situation that you're not able to get through on your own. Situations like that were huge. And honestly, my heart breaks thinking about the loss. But yeah, Dragon Ball affected my life. While it was never my number one favorite anime, it was always in my it was always in my top 5. Always. I'm not as obviously I wasn't as close to Toriyama as a lot of actual content creators were, but his work is pivotal for my childhood. The games, the show, the toys, I was so into Dragon Ball as a kid. It was one of the only forms of escape I had. And if it weren't for the works of Toriyama, if it weren't for any of that, I wouldn't be the destroyer that you guys know. I wouldn't be the one that you guys know and love if it weren't for that. I had people ask me the day that everyone found out, like DMing me, being like, "Hey, you okay?" And I mean, I was okay. It's like it's not like it's not like I knew him personally, but he's still a pretty big part of my life, and I try to brush it off and act tough, but I can't. The man was a legend. Akira Toriyama. And the myth, the legend. He's just gonna always be someone that the world will remember. Whether they knew Dragon Ball or anything else that he's done. He brought us so many memorable things, so many memories, so many amazing concepts. And it's honestly very hard to sit here and it's hard to wrap my brain around. Still gone. He's not coming. Like, obviously, we've all been at that one point when we were younger. Rather we tried to use the Kamehameha ourselves, whether we tried to turn Super Saiyan ourselves. Gods know I did. The entire world, almost every industry, has been rocked by Toriyama's passing. The footage I've seen of even like soccer players doing these massive tributes to Toriyama. Even the wrestling world, I've seen those screenshots of those guys dressed as Saiyans. Like Dragon Ball alone. Like, Toriyama's done multiple things, but Dragon Ball alone is probably one of the most impactful animes out there. So many great animes and tropes have only happened because of Dragon Ball. And it's always hard to look at what we have now. Imagine it ever happening without Toriyama's work. Inspiring. Before settling into who I am, as a kid I always wanted to be like Goku. Someone strong, someone fun, someone who could protect his loved one, someone who could protect her loved one. It didn't matter to me, but I'm Ram. Toriyama-sensei. We will always love you. See you. May the cosmos embrace you. Rest in peace.